ERC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday morning, the 9th day of December. James Spann here, and got a dynamic weather system coming in, really a two-punch kind of thing, and a pretty interesting forecast package we have. Let's go right to some of the Skycam images around the network this morning. There's a look at the lights of the city of Gadsden, where they had their Christmas parade last night. And the one thing you'll notice this morning, it's not as cold. Temperatures are mostly in the mid to upper 40s at daybreak, well above freezing. There's the Jasper Skycam, the nativity scene looking nice down below. That's coming from the top of the King building. And we'll check our Gulf Shore Skycam, nice and quiet there on Beach Boulevard, mainly looking for the dew point. And the dew point down there is 61 early this morning, and we think we could see those dew points in the low 60s as far north as Birmingham late tonight, making for some surface-based instability in advance of our approaching system that looks pretty good this morning on the water vapor satellite imagery. Had some big storms last night over Texas and Oklahoma. They have weakened a little bit over the last couple of hours. There's the radar this morning as 5 o'clock, and you can see rain and storms through a large part of Arkansas into the adjacent states. Echoes as close as western Tennessee and north Mississippi. And understand we might see a shower this afternoon, but the main action will be late tonight. Here's the convective outlook for today. Got a slight risk of severe weather across all of Louisiana and the adjacent parts of Texas, Arkansas, a large part of Mississippi and West Alabama. Wouldn't be shocked if they pull that a little eastward when they update that graphic a little later this morning, as we do think there will be a little window for severe storms across our state late tonight. In terms of the tornado threat, there could be a few today, with the higher probabilities along the Interstate 20 corridor in Louisiana, from Shreveport to Monroe, and then back over toward Vicksburg, Mississippi. So we'll be watching with interest during the day today as that whole thing unfolds. And the one thing, again, we can safely promise, we should see some really good beneficial rain this week. We're talking rainfall amounts of over 2 and 3 inches statewide between now and the end of the week, with our two systems, the one tonight and another one coming in here on Thursday. Well, let's take a look. This is the 06Z GFS, valid at noon today. And there's your trough to the west. Down below that, most of the action at midday will be west of here, over Arkansas, Louisiana, and places like that. We've got a good southerly flow. It should be windy today. Good south wind, maybe gusting to 30 miles per hour this afternoon. Tonight at midnight, the squall line looks to be moving into northwest Alabama. So we'll have to be on our toes by 10 or 11 o'clock or so as things begin to heat up. And we'll go to 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The squall line is coming through Birmingham at that point. It's a slow mover, which adds to the potential for heavy rain. This thing tonight could easily bring 2 inches of rain, maybe some flooding issues before the whole thing is done. Of course, the ground obviously is not saturated, but still, that's a lot of rain coming down. And then by midday tomorrow, the heavier rain shifts on down to the southeast of Birmingham. We'll peek at some of the severe weather parameters. First off, this is surface-based CAPE, valid tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. And by golly, we've got some there. This is suggesting the instability values could be greater than 250 joules. And, for 6 o'clock in the morning in December, that's pretty impressive. So there is definitely a tongue of surface-based instability with our band of showers and storms. Helicity values are very high. We note that they are in excess of 350, basically over north central and northeast Alabama. So that would support maybe a few rotating storms. And understand now, this is December. We're talking pre-dawn. We don't think this will be a big tornado outbreak, but you can't rule out the chance of an isolated tornado somewhere within that line with a look like that. And those are small and pesky, but they can be problematic. And then this is the 850 millibar wind speed, about 5,000 feet off the ground, and the winds are screaming up there. And again, this is valid tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. That's suggesting winds of 60 knots. And it's not going to take a whole lot to get some of that wind transferred down to the ground. So the main window for severe weather probably from about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Main threat would be from strong straight-line winds. We cannot rule out the chance of an isolated tornado. Now, let's go to Thursday. Here comes issue number 2. Look at that. This is the 06Z GFS, and again, it's got a very dynamic upper low over southwest Alabama. And the surface low, now, well, let me just say this. This run is faster with this thing. It's got the surface low Thursday, really east of Atlanta. And underneath that cold core upper low, note the little 540 ring over South Mississippi. And the question is, can there be any dynamic cooling? And the answer obviously is yes. And then the next question is, how much dynamic cooling can it support snowflakes at the surface? Understand these cold core systems can do that, even if the surface temperatures don't seem to support it. You know, many times we've seen cold core systems like this produce surprise snow events. So we're not going to really mention snowflakes in our public forecast at this point, but when you see a system like that, you have to have that issue in the back of your mind. And again, before we mention any snowflakes, let's wait for the 12Z run to come out. We'll take a look at both of those later this morning. There's a look at the 850 millibar chart. And yeah, we see the temperatures underneath the cold core are right at freezing at that level. And that can be a rain-snow indicator over Mississippi. And that would kind of advect into Alabama throughout the afternoon and evening hours on Thursday. So just something to think about. But forget the snowflakes. It looks like another good batch of rain, adding to the impressive rain totals we'll see this week. And now Friday, the latest run here, has that thing way out of here. I mean, much faster. The surface low is up there at Boston, just about Cape Cod. And that would be a cool and dry day with a clearing sky. Saturday looks cool and dry, starting off the weekend. And Sunday, dry and warmer. Southerly flow kicks in again. And you can see another cold front coming down the pike. But this front will not barrel through here because look at this. Monday of next week, back in the upper levels, got a ridge building over the Gulf, a 588 ridge. And that's going to kind of block that thing from coming south. At the surface, the cold front not moving much, kind of stalled out there from about Cleveland down to Oklahoma City. And it just looks like that might be the issue for a few days. Here's the 18th of December. Same thing, 588 ridge, nosing up into Alabama, which means mild weather with the polar jet just north of here. No cold air. And let's go to the end of the forecast period, Christmas Eve. December 24th, this actually at midnight, Christmas Eve, about the time old St. Nick ought to be on his journey. And where's the polar westerlies? In Canada. Oh, that doesn't bode well for the snow fans. You can still dream. This is voodoo. We all know that. But if this is right, no cold air. That would be mild air, and that would be kind of wet if that happens to be correct. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 3:30 or so today. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.